Hello everyone, welcome to QXon. In this video, we will discuss about homeostasis. In homeostasis, I will be covering what is homeostasis and why there is need to maintain homeostasis and what are the processes which are used to maintain homeostasis. Homeostasis is defined as processes used by living beings for maintenance of near constancy of internal environment. Now you see that there are certain key terms which we have used in this definition. One is that internal environment, then its near constancy has to be maintained, and there are certain processes which are causing this near constancy of internal environment. So basically three questions arise with this definition. One, what do you mean by internal environment of body? Second, why is there a need to maintain its near constancy? And third, what are the processes which maintain this constancy of internal environment? So to understand this, we have to make a comparison between unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. See, unicellular organisms are basically bounded by a cell membrane and they are single-celled. And whatever metabolic processes are taking place inside the cell, for that certain nutrients are required. So they can directly take up these nutrients from its surroundings. And the metabolic end products which are produced, they can be directly excreted into the surroundings. Similarly, for reproduction, they can divide into two cells. So they are kind of self-sufficient. However, when we consider multicellular organisms, the cells are closely packed together, right? And so each cell is not in direct contact with the external surrounding, which we call the external environment. Rather, they are surrounded by a fluid, right? So whatever nutrients they have to take up from this fluid. So this is a cell and this is the fluid surrounding the cell, plus there are certain blood vessels. So the nutrients the cell needs, it has to take up from this interstitial fluid which is surrounding the cells, and this interstitial fluid in turn is in contact with the blood flowing in the capillaries. Okay. Similarly, the excretory end products which form due to metabolism, they are released into this interstitial fluid which again move to the capillaries. So there is no direct contact with the external environment which is there for the unicellular organism. So this forms the internal environment, isn't it? Because it is not in contact with the external environment, rather a thin lining of fluid which is present. This is the environment for the cell in case of multicellular organisms. So, what happens that multicellular organisms take up the nutrients from this interstitial fluid and release the excretory end products, the metabolic end products into the interstitial fluid, which is again in equilibrium with the blood flowing in the capillaries. Now you see, via these capillaries and blood vessels, the blood is reaching to various organs and the excretory end products are being excreted by another system, that is excretory system. Then the requirements are taken up by the digestive system. Then again respiratory system is providing the requirement of oxygen and also excreting carbon dioxide. So what we are saying is that this immediate environment of the cell, which is called the interstitial fluid, was initially named as milieu interior or internal environment of the body by Claude Bernard. But now we consider both the interstitial fluid as well as the blood flowing in the vessels, that is the entire extracellular fluid, as the internal environment. And this internal environment is in turn contact with the external environment by means of various systems. So for the cell to survive, we need that this internal environment constancy should be maintained. Otherwise, what will happen? That lot of metabolic end products, if they accumulate in this internal environment of the cell, then it will be disastrous for the cell, because it will be like a dump accumulating outside the cell, isn't it? And similarly, the nutrients need to be replenished regularly so that a constancy of the nutrients is maintained in this extracellular fluid. So basically, for homeostasis, various body systems come together and maintain the homeostasis, because as I already told that respiratory system, digestive system, excretory system, all are involved in maintaining the internal environment. Then obviously cardiovascular system, because it is taking the nutrients to the cell and taking away the waste products. So all body systems come together to maintain the homeostasis of the internal environment for the survival of the cells, and various cells together form the body systems. Getting the point? So various body systems are working together for the survival of each cell, and it is the various cells which come together and make up the body systems. So there are continuously disruptions going on in the internal environment by these cells. Okay. Now this, how the body systems maintain homeostasis, that is via biological control. There is integrated system acting by hormones, by neurons, which coordinate the function of the various body systems to maintain the homeostasis. By the way, this term homeostasis was coined by Walter B. Cannon. In summary, various systems participate directly or indirectly in maintaining homeostasis, and basically the body systems, that is the group of organs that perform related functions, and they interact together to accomplish a common activity which is essential for the survival of the whole body. These form the systems, and all systems work together. They are not acting in isolation from one another. So there is a integration of the function of various systems, and this is brought about by endocrine and nervous system. So it is like a teamwork which is happening for maintaining the homeostasis. And disease is a manifestation of imbalance in homeostasis, because if any organ system is not functioning properly, then it will affect the homeostasis, that is the constancy of internal environment of the body will not be maintained, and hence it will result in a disease. So let us see now that what are the requirements of a homeostatic control system. So control system, any homeostatic control system must be able to detect any change in variables which is occurring in the internal environment of the body. So for detecting these changes, it should have a sensor. So it should sense the changes which are occurring in various parameters. Then it should integrate the obtained information. So suppose there is a change in partial pressure of oxygen in body fluids, or there is a change in partial pressure of carbon dioxide. Okay, and there is another information maybe coming from blood pressure changes, right? So various changes it should send to a particular center, what we call as controller, and it should integrate the obtained information. So whatever there is an input coming, so from various direction input is coming, it should take all the input together and should compute, make some computations, that is integrate the obtained information. And then according to the output from the control system, it should make appropriate changes in the functioning of various organ system to restore those factors to its desired value. So this is known as effector, because that will be the execution, that will be the executioner of what is the output. So in summary, there should be a sensor to detect deviation, there should be a controller to integrate the information, and then there should be an effector, the executioner, to make appropriate changes in the functioning of the organ system, so that the variable which it has detected first should come back to its normal range. Okay, let's consider an example. Say suppose there are sensors to detect surface body temperature. Our skin is always in contact with the environment. So if the environmental temperature is changing, the skin temperature is also going to change. So this is always detected by the sensor. So sensor is detecting the current value of the body temperature, surface body temperature. Now this information is conveyed to the control center. So control center, what it does is that there may be certain desired value of the temperature. So suppose there is core body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius while the surface temperature is 42 degrees Celsius because there is environment is too hot, right? So that comparison will be made at the control center, that more temperature is present at the skin. So based on that, it will do certain adjustments. It will calculate a value, and based on that, it will tell the effectors to make appropriate changes to increase or decrease temperature depending on the requirement. So in case it is getting an information of increased temperature outside, it will start releasing the heat from the body. So there may be vasodilation which may occur, there will be sweating which will start. So based on the current value of the temperature, control center makes the adjustments and tells the effectors to perform the necessary change in functions in the various body systems. So in summary, what are the components of the control system? There is a stimulus which is sensed by a sensor, or what we will say is a receptor, and from the sensor it is sent by afferents to the control center. So information going towards the control center is by afferents. Then from control center, information travels via efferents to the effector, and effectors cause the response, that is the change in the functioning of the body systems.